So, Piers, the world's gone nuts, according to you. We couldn't resist to get you on the programme. You've come off stage. How did it go? What was the reaction like?
Well, they're, a pretty liberal crowd, I would think. And so I was a little bit worried that my kind of anti-woke agenda might backfire, but they seemed to warm to me by the end. I wouldn't say they liked me, but they were beginning to find it harder to dislike me.
And is it a PC world gone mad? And how does that affect us in a day-to-day, would you say?
I think we have gone a bit nuts. I think that everyone these days seems to be permanently offended about everything. We're teaching kids at school they can't lose, they have to win. Everyone has to win everything. You come last, you get a participation prize. Everyone's wrapped in cotton wool and told that everything's hunky-dory in life. And of course, the real world isn't like that. The real world is about winning and losing and failure and success and all these things. And I think we need to toughen up as a country. We need to toughen up in our schools and be tougher with the kids, make them mentally more resilient, try and deal with this crippling explosion of anxiety which seems to be gripping our young people, and say, come on, let's try and help them rather than just, encourage this mollycoddling all the time. Let's make them mentally stronger, more resilient. I just interviewed Cristiano Ronaldo for ITV. You won't meet a more mentally strong guy in the world. And he said that he thought that was his biggest strength, was this, up here. Not his talent, but his mental strength. Let's take that attitude. Let's try and create a whole world of Ronaldo-esque people with the mental strength to go and succeed in life. And I think that's really where I come from all this, is, come on, the world is getting too offended by everything, too sensitive, too snowflakey. Let's just get a grip and let's go back to what made this country a great country, which is actually winning.
I don't know whether you agree, but I feel that the country is more divided now, more than it ever has been. Isn't it the problem that we just don't respect that other people can have a different opinion, whether it's on veganism or a female James Bond?
Listen, I have these debates all the time on Good Morning Britain. And whether it's a female James Bond or Bond wearing a papoose or vegan sausage rolls or wherever it may be, I like to stir up debate. But here's the thing. We'll get people on and we'll debate with them, and I'll respect their opinion if they're giving a good argument. What I don't respect is screaming, radical, self-righteous nonsense where people say, I don't just disagree with you, but my view is the right one. And this could be about Donald Trump or Brexit, whatever it may be. My view is the right one, and your view is not just wrong, but you're an idiot. And because you're an idiot, you need to be cancelled and removed from public life. And that's the culture we're now living in, this cancel culture. And I'm afraid it's driven by the liberal world, and I'm more liberal than not. But I find the behaviour of many of these liberals now utterly illiberal and ridiculous. And we've got to get back to a situation where we have democratic debate, where we can talk about stuff and have a different opinion, but at the end of the day, agree to differ, agree on certain points perhaps, and then go and have a drink and enjoy each other's company. Right now, we're going back 2,000 years to when we were tribes, and tribes' answer to everything was to kill each other.
And how hard is it, though, for us to have democratic debate, would you say, in today's world of social media? You just look at it today. I mean, I know you've been commenting on it, the comments that Laura Kuenssberg, the BBC political editors, had today. And when you see the sort of the bile that people have to put up with, how hard is it for us to even want to come up with a debate, to even put our head above the parapet, would you say?
Listen, I've got friends and family members who just lose their minds about Brexit. And it's so dispiriting. It's like, we've had a lot worse than this in this country, going back over the centuries. Well, can't we just get a grip, come together, try and find points of agreement on Brexit? I voted Remain, but I understand that Leave won, and you have to honour that result, in my opinion. Just leave and make it work. Here's what's going to happen. It isn't going to be the end of the world. We're going to be fine. Whatever happens, the country will continue. So why don't we come together, stop all this ridiculous tribalism and hysteria when you're taking down someone like Laura Kuenssberg, who's one of the most impartial professional journalists on British broadcasting. When she is the subject of a cancellation campaign on Twitter, everything's gone nuts. It's offensive, it's wrong, it shouldn't be happening, and it is symptomatic of this kind of hysterical overreaction to everything which is going on, which just kills any kind of democracy.
ITV's Chief Executive, Big Boss Dame Carolyn McCall's also been speaking at the conference, and interestingly she said that some of the best drama lately on TV has been delivered by the news. It is a bit like a soap opera at the moment, isn't it?
It is a soap opera, but it has very real consequences. But yeah, it is. It's becoming exhausting, isn't it? Whether it's, again, Trump in America or Brexit here, it's like every day It's like a new episode of chaos and carnage, and it is exhausting. It'd be nice to get back to actually normal politics where we talk about education and health and crime and all these other things which are hugely important, but we just get lost in the mess and chaos of Brexit. So I think we should just get on with it, get out of Europe, make it work, calm down, and then let's just get on with our lives and more important stuff.
And in this volatile world that we're living in at the moment, Piers, I say you put your head above the parapet time and time again. You perhaps see yourself as the people's champion. Do you ever worry for your own safety?
No, I couldn't give a damn. I just see myself as the voice of common sense. When we do polls on Good Morning Britain, this will horrify Twitter, but only 20% of the public are on Twitter. So when we do these polls about all these things, which apparently I'm the weird one, they always come back 85, 90% in my favour. Susanna Reid can't understand it. She's like, but everyone on my Twitter feed agrees with me. I said, Susanna, most people aren't on Twitter. Twitter is full of very liberal people with very liberal views who've become increasingly illiberal. And they're not used to people disagreeing with them because their Twitter feed tells them, yes, 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 you're right about everything. But the wider public who are not on social media actually often don't agree. The British public are very commonsensical people. Actually, they're quite calm. They like a good joke, even if it's a bit risque. You know, we're the nation of saucy postcards at seaside resorts. That's all got to go unless we do something about this. Do we really want to go to some sterile country where no one can have a cheeky laugh, no one can flirt with somebody at the office, etc., etc.? Has everything got to die? Has all the fun in life got to be sucked away?
Oh, Piers.
I would hope not.
Piers, perhaps, possibly, in fact, most definitely, the most important question of the interview bout coming up now. As both of us are cricket lovers, what was it like facing a 96-mile-an-hour Jofra Archer bumper in the GMB studios then?
Well, luckily, he didn't use a real cricket ball, but he was alarmingly rapid, I have to say. And I have, of course, faced Brett Lee, the Australian fast bowler, who was bowling a real cricket ball at me, broke my ribs and terrorised me. And I got to say, you and I played together at Arundel Castle for the Sussex Martlets many years ago, and you were a better cricketer than me. But what I would say about that is the difference between facing the kind of bowling that we would face, 80, 85 maximum, up to 95 is chalk and cheese. And my admiration for fast bowlers like Jofra Archer, Brett Lee and the others knows no bounds because they are seriously quick. And my admiration for the batsmen that can deal with it. Steve Smith never got out to Jofra Archer's summer. He got knocked out, but he never got out. And what a player he is. So I think that, cricket's my first real love, remains my great love in sport other than Arsenal. And I've got great admiration for these guys. And what a summer for England. Drew the Ashes 2-2, all right, we didn't get the urn back, but we drew the series and we won the World Cup. And I was there that day at Lord's, and Jofra Archer actually ran towards the box I was in, not because he knew I was in there, but spray gunned himself across the grass. And the outpouring of joy at Lord's was like nothing I'd ever seen before. So world champions, drew the Ashes. Great summer for English cricket.
Absolutely wonderful. Piers Morgan, keep taking the verbal brickbats for us. We'll speak to you again. Thanks for your time.
It's been fun talking to you. Thank you, Piers.
Cheers, guys. All the best.